meditation. My name is Joni Bauman, and I'm a licensed religious science practitioner, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. So I invite you to take a moment to be here in the now. Become aware of your breathing, breathing in, breathing out. Just following along with that rhythmic circulation. Gently following the flow of your breath. And as your body becomes more relaxed, your mind becomes more open to receive. Let any stray thoughts be just that, stray thoughts that come and go. Let's prepare to open our consciousness, claim our joy, and move through life knowing that this is our divine inheritance. And we know that there is unlimited fulfillment in our lives. The gifts of the kingdom are here and ready for us to receive. As we clear out our minds, breathing easily and effortlessly, and ready to receive, I invite you to follow me on an internal journey of joy and happiness. Here are a compilation of verses from Joy Has Come to Live With Me and Happiness and Completion, two passages from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Joy has come to live with me, so how can I be sad? I do so love this presence of spirit, which is joy within me. It makes me glad, and I sing, for I am so filled with spirit. How could I be unhappy? As I am filled with the joy of the Spirit, I overflow with the gladness of life. Spirit is a happy companion to travel with me through life. Wonderful joy is so radiant and beaming. It is impossible to be sad in Spirit's presence. I shall give myself to this presence and remain with Spirit, for I am complete and satisfied. And I find fulfillment in Spirit and joy forevermore. I am filled with the spirit of joy. Filled with spirit, I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. this Spirit is the Spirit of all life, all truth, all action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light and cannot be sad nor sorry. I radiate joy. I radiate life. For life is within me now. Let us surrender to a few moments of reflection. I am happy, I am complete. let us return to contemplating our joy and happiness with some quotes from Reverend Steph St. Amand in this month's issue of Science and Mind magazine. My joy is the joy of spirit. My love is the heartbeat of the divine. Joy springs forth from me in wild abandon. I listen deeply to the symphony of the universe. I am as a songbird that knows only one note, the sweetness of remembering exactly who I am. I give the wholeness of me to the wholeness of Spirit's grace. I revel in its jubilation of the life I get to live. I am joy unfolding, and I need be nothing more. Let us remember that my joy is the joy of spirit, and I'm grateful for its unfoldment in me. And let us welcome every day forward with wonder and awe, and claim the joy and happiness that is our birthright. As we go forward into our week, we remember that my joy is the joy of spirit. My love is the heartbeat of the divine. I revel in this jubilation of the life I get to live, for I am joy unfolding, and I need be nothing more. I claim this joy and happiness that is my birthright. And so it is time for us to re-enter the room, becoming aware of our surroundings, slightly moving and opening our eyes and ready to continue on with our day and our celebration of life and the joy it brings. Namaste. practitioner, and I'll be giving you the announcements today. A huge thank you to everyone joining us today in person and on our Facebook page for meditation and for services. Thank you to everyone that's pledged in 2022. Your conscious contributions and pledges have helped us celebrate here on Sundays, and they also give us an opportunity to provide online inspiration. As of today, we are at $79,560 of our 2022 pledge goal of $95,000. Our 2022 annual meeting and elections will take place via Zoom on Sunday, March 27th, so please mark your calendars. The Zoom link has been published in the e-newsletter with the time, 1 to 3 p.m. This gives everyone time to get home to join the meeting after service, hopefully grab some lunch. And then all members will receive a nominating roster via email on or before March 14th. We're nominating for Core Council, Nominating Core, and Vision Core. And our next regular community meeting will be the second Sunday in April. More details will be shared before that date. If you would like prayer after service or any time throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. Today after service, our practitioners will be in the anteroom just outside the doors in the back. That's the news for today. Let's all stand and sing our opening song, One Big Family. Organization. We are a judgment-free zone where we love you for who you are, showing up in the world exactly as you are, and we support you in whatever your path is to Spirit. So welcome for joining us today here and online. We appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, share us, all that good stuff. And then you can watch us later on YouTube if you want to watch us again. We love it. What I'd like you to do now, if you're so willing, is to read our mission statement along with me. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using science of mind principles as our compass. So I'd love to thank practitioner Jody Bauman for the beautiful meditation this morning, as well as stepping up for that. She is on the platform today as well. So let me reintroduce Jody. We now begin our sacred service. A reading reading from Victor Seamus. Play is a sacred act. When we are playing, the essence of all creation flows freely through us. We are expressing our true nature and connecting with the very core of our existence. Nothing is more spiritual than that. Now let the music take us within. And as we contemplate those beautiful, inspiring words, let go of the shore, float into the mystery, I am conscious of Spirit's presence and power, and the natural ebb and flow of life. I am made in the likeness and image of Spirit, and the same holds true for all. As we are one with Source, the eternality, the immortality, and the ever-expanding spirit, power of Spirit is present in all. I claim that we continue to open our minds, open our hearts, and open our souls to the knowing that Spirit lives and expresses through each of us, lifting us in a never-ending spiral of perfection. On this beautiful spring day, we allow any doubts or fears to fall away as the remnants of winter are released. I know that as we open our consciousness, we hold a greater space to experience the rebirth, the rejuvenation that is ours to experience, and reawaken to the truth that everything is working out for our highest and best. I release this understanding of our truth into law, knowing that it is already done, with a grateful heart for our divine inheritance and immortality. join me in saying, and so it is.
Let go of the shore, and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, flow into mystery. Let go of the shore, and let the
by Tony Bernardi and Carissa Holmes, too. Beautiful song. Let's see if I can be, this is me. Carry that corded microphone around with me. So today is a great topic. So we move into the third month of the year, and our theme this year is Living Everyday Wonder. So reaching for spirit in the wonder that it is in our everyday lives. And this month we focus on play. Yeah, I love play. So I think we can use a little play in our lives, particularly now with the world in the state that it is in. However, before I begin, I feel I would be remiss in my duty if I did not share what the Centers for Spiritual Living recently said regarding the state of the world. So we're not going to contribute or participate in any spiritual bypass. We're going to call it like we see it. So on Tuesday, March 1st, Centers for Spiritual Living sent an email. Some of you may have received it. And it is a call to prayer. So I'm going to read you an edited version. We are struck and saddened by the realization that during the celebration of the season for nonviolence, our world is experiencing armed conflict in more than 70 locations on the planet. We are saddened, too, by what appears to be an overarching concern about the impact of war on the economy. We are concerned about war's impact on life, families, children, the environment, habitats, and ecosystems on which we all depend. The current war in Europe brings to our attention the recent daily themes of the season of nonviolence. They are harmony, friendliness, respect, and generosity. And it rightly causes us to question if our spiritual work is having any beneficial impact in the world. We believe it does. Based on our teaching that consciousness is cause. Therefore, in light of what is happening, we feel called to reinforce our spiritual practices and affirm our support of and advocacy for peace everywhere. Now, you're invited to join Centers for Spiritual Living's spiritual leader, Dr. Edward Villon, in a daily devotional that he does on Facebook at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Or you can do this whenever you feel called to participate. To light a candle as a symbol of our commitment to keeping our hearts open to love, our trust open to peaceful resolution of conflict, and our minds open to the guidance from a power greater than we are. If you want to join online through Facebook or YouTube, you can just, for these daily devotions, you can just do a search for that. Edward Villon also included this. We stand with people everywhere who are standing for peace and protesting violence. We stand with people everywhere who are praying for all leaders and all governments. We stand with people everywhere who dare to grieve the use of violence as a means to attain dominance and economic security. We stand humbly with people everywhere who look to their personal and national history of complicity in violent means without losing courage or hope for a new world. We stand with people everywhere who help in times of crisis and who refuse to celebrate death, innocent or otherwise. In our spiritual work of embodying oneness, we feel called to embrace everyone, everywhere violence touches our planet. We call you to join us in what it means to engage in peace consciously. We call you to share your views and concerns with family, community members, congregations, considering the question, what can be done to end conflict? call you to connect with other spiritual and religious communities to discuss these issues and take collective action. We call you to join us with affirmative prayer vigils, meditations, and hymns of peacemaking. And we call you to reaffirm your trust in the power that these tools have to help mend feelings of helplessness and contribute to peace. So this email letter was signed with love from Dr. Edward Vion, our spiritual leader at the Centers for Spiritual Living, and also by the Spiritually Motivated Social Engagement Committee. So I invite us in this moment to just take a moment of silence for all mankind in these times. Okay, that was pretty positive, huh? So what's a good segue to take us from the deep sadness of violence in the world to a discussion of play? Because that's my topic, if you remember from the beginning. There is no segue. I really thought about this. There isn't one, so I'm just going to start all over again. So, as I said before, I love speaking on the first Sunday of the month because I get to introduce the new theme. So again, this month it's play. And exploring this month, I'm going to encourage you to play this month. You know, connecting deeply with the divine can sometimes feel like very serious work. It's just like the call to prayer I just read and the situations that we are facing globally today. Just turn on the news or not, because we see them everywhere. It is serious. But that's only one side of the coin, or to say it better, one of the many facets of spirit. Spirit created each of us with an overflowing capacity for love and compassion, and also with an abundant capacity for joy, creativity, harmony, balance, and freedom. All of these God qualities are within each of us. But what do we tend to do? Turn on the news, we get online, we look at the negative, and we get obsessed with the bad stuff. We will fall victim to the doom and gloom, or as the young kids say, doom scrolling, because that's what's out there. Yes, doom scrolling. Google it. Sorry. We have forgotten to engage the essential positive and life-affirming aspects of our divine selves when we are surrounded by things like we are today. So sometimes, for me, I find balancing seemingly opposites or dualities pretty easy, but then I'm a Gemini. So I've got, I can hold logic versus creativity. I can hold seriousness versus humor. I hold sadness versus joy. But we would all do well to remember that joy and freedom are divine qualities too. To not forget that. In one of his talks, Ernest Holmes said, God sings all the songs, dances all the dances, paints all the pictures, creates all art, writes every book, and plays every game. We know, and we always say that God or Spirit works to, through, and as us. That we are spiritual beings in a physical body, and that Spirit expands through each and every one of us. So is it so hard to imagine that when we sing, we dance, we paint, we play, that it's Spirit expressing through us? Is it so hard to see that Spirit exudes joy and fun through us? time to play if we're meditating, praying, contemplating, and being that serious spiritual person that we think we might have to be. You know, Spirit is dancing all around us, in and through us all the time, calling us to celebrate it fully. The seriousness in the silly. Play is a sacred activity absolutely necessary for our complete expression in this life. Play connects us with a sense of wonder and creativity. Play is healing to the body, to the mind, to the spirit, to the heart. It can connect us with others, and it can also connect us and inspire us to be our greater yet to be. So what if at the end of the day we're all just playing Twister with God? So you all know me pretty much, and I couldn't give this talk without a visual aid, and I happen to know there's one person here today that doesn't even know what Twister is, so I can put my microphone down and show you my visual aids. Un momento, por favor.
I feel like Mary Poppins with her carpet bag. So people of a certain age, and even here is my original Twister game. Oh, whoa! I had to actually wash it, so I don't have the box anymore because I got this game for Christmas when I was a kid. Oh, just 20, 30 years ago.
Are we playing, Margie? Are we playing Twister?
Maybe after service we'll try it. I didn't have the card. I didn't have the,
See, I don't really need a mic because I can project, but we'll use it instead. I didn't have this, and so I called upon my daughter who they had a Twister game too, but this was broken, so I had to fix it too. So, you know, you get the whole feeling. So if you don't know Twister, you can Google it. If you're a kid if you're a boomer, you should know Twister. So, let's see. The game is simple. You stand at the mat, and you twist this, and you have your left hand or your right hand, your left foot or your right foot, and you have the 4 colors. And so when you twist this, it tells you get to pick through the twist where you stand on the mat. Sounds simple enough, but I might not have told you that there are other people playing the game with you. That's what makes it fun. So, let's see. So there's 3 things about Twister that I'm going to liken to our spiritual experience. First, you have to get the foundation right. So that mat has to be on a flat surface. Very hard to play it on a hill, in the grass. You really got to do that. You have to have some room because and here's the other thing. This is a misnomer because it shows a foot with a sock on it, but honestly, you got to take your socks off or you're going to slide all over the place. You cannot win. The person that wins is the last person left, not in a heap of bodies at the end of the game. Not on the ground. You have to stay in your position. But if you take off your socks, you will surely lose the game because you will just slide. So most of this is true, except for the sock part, when you think about your relationship with Spirit. Because you have to have a good grasp of the foundation. And our foundation is science of mind principles. So that means that God isn't just experienced as proper, pious, grown-up, always serious. We know that Spirit is all that is. And that means Spirit expresses as all that exists in all of creation. We say there is no place where God is not, and that goes for the seriousness as well as the silliness. Secondly, if If you haven't figured out by now, Twister is very close up and personal. If you've played it, you remember that. If not, just imagine in your mind. After a few turns, because everybody gets a turn and starts getting on the board or the cloth there, people get pretty intertwined with each other, kind of like a human pretzel. And of course, once you're that close, you're going to have giggles. It just can't be helped. So just try imagining reaching left-hand green when you're face to foot with somebody else on the mat. It's fun to do. So no matter what we think will happen, we are eternally intertwined in unexpected ways with the divine as well. We are close up and personal, whether we know it, or we recognize it, or not. You know, it's just like now, there are life changes, surprises, failures, fear, and even wild successes. They all happen in our life. As we move to take our next step, whatever that might be, whatever the spin takes us to, whatever intuition tells us, the entire universe is swirling about us in a divine dance, shifting us in a million little ways and holding us up at the same time. Nothing and no one knows us better. As we let Spirit all the way in, we really get to experience it. Cultivating a life of joy, fun, silliness, and living in balance involves making space for the play that lights you up, whether it's golfing, or dancing, or singing, or even just an evening with a really good friend. When we start the game, God always joins in, close up and personal. Now, the third thing that's a similarity with Twister and with our divine dance with Spirit is that you got to be ready to laugh. We just can't take everything so seriously that we leave out this aspect of Spirit. Twister is going to happen. Are we willing to embrace the play of it? And you can see if you've ever played it, you know that Twister is ridiculous, it's silly, and it's fun. But it's a metaphor for our joyful experience of the divine and the absolutely uncountable ways that Spirit delights and surprises us with every twist and turn of life. Ernest Hemingway, wrong ones. Contemporaries, but I picked the wrong one as an agent. Ernest Holmes, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he also said, if we are to know a God of joy, we must be joyful. So we can let go of the misunderstanding that tells us that spirituality is always serious and play, laughter, and joy are frivolous and unimportant. They're all a part of Spirit. Teilhard de Chardin tells us, joy is the most infallible sign of the presence of God. When we make space inside ourselves to really laugh, to live in the expression of joy, we are being our most God self, our most Spirit self. So in service today, Joni read a quote by Victor Shamus that really articulated it well. And he said, and I repeat it here because sometimes we need to hear this more than once. Play is a sacred act. When we are playing, the essence of all creation flows freely through us. We are expressing our true nature and connecting with the very core of our existence. Nothing is more spiritual than that. So this week, in the Living of Your life amid the conditions in the world. Make some room to create some spiritual balance. Just be aware and cultivate the ways that you let Spirit into your heart through joy and laughter. You can ask yourself these questions. Where do I feel resistance around playing with God? Can I allow myself to be with those feelings completely without judgment from next week? What does it feel like to consider playing and laughing with God? How can I open up more fully to the idea of sacred play? What do I deeply enjoy doing in my play life? And what am I willing to commit to making time for this week or this month from a play perspective? So moving into the consciousness of joy allows us to take the time to live some everyday wonder. And we can do that in play. Because it allows us to refresh ourselves when we're depleted. And it allows us to express the joy and laughter that really is of the divine. You can even try to throw in, as you're doing this, some creativity, some silliness, some fun. If you don't know how to do that, go find some young people, kids, because they can do that. Bring them the Twister game. You could be the spinner, but it'd be fun. So this week, consciously celebrate the unimaginable beauty of a life spent playing Twister with God. And to bring you into that space, you can use this simple affirmation if you choose. I am having fun with the divine. So, Spirit is all that is, and all that is through Spirit. There's a beautiful verse in the Bible, Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8, that tells us that there is a time for everything and a season for every purpose or every activity, and they say under heaven. There's a song, turn. I'm not going to sing it for you. Lucky you guys. However, as you know, we believe that heaven is within. And as I end this talk, I'm going to leave you with a few selected lines from that verse that speak to the many facets of Spirit and that embrace the full spectrum of life in all its duality. There is a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time for war and a time for peace. Let us hold the consciousness of peace and let us spread the joy of the divine. I'd like to take this in a prayer. So I just breathe in and feel all the aspects of the divine in my breath coming to me, through me, and as me. And today I see the duality in the world, and yet I know it is not the truth of the divine. It is not the truth of the divine one. What I know with all of my being is that the divine is love and harmony and peace. I also recognize Spirit as joy, happiness, and even silliness. For I know that all that is Spirit, and Spirit is all of creation. This power, this one mind, one consciousness is the joy-filled, life-affirming power. I know that I am part of the Spirit, just as I know that each and every person is an expression of the one. We are inextricably intertwined with the divine in all we say, in all we do, in our very beingness. There is no place where God is not. What I claim in the name of the divine is the fully expressed consciousness of peace, harmony, compassion, and joy. I start in consciousness because I know that I am co-creating with the omnipotent power of the Divine One. I know that my consciousness expands with each person on this planet as their consciousness expands to create peace, to create a world that works for everyone. It is possible. I know that this world expands as peace and in joy. So it is with a grateful heart that I speak my word, and it is in faith that it is demonstrated. Because I release this prayer into the flow of the law that always says yes. Today I step into this change for humanity that the people of the world are creating in consciousness and in prayer. I say amen, ashe, and I invite you to close with me by saying, and so it is. Now it is time for the giving of our gifts, and it's time for us to thank you for the ways that you are consciously contributing to our center during all of these times. And we're honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually, and we appreciate the gifts and conscious contributions you give to us. They are very important because they help us fulfill our vision of creating a world that works for everyone. So as we engage with the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. Please say our affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
So as we witness the law of circulation, we're going to sing, God is my source.
So joining in that gratitude for love, peace, joy, a source, and all who have been contributing to this loving and inclusive service. And I know that the gifts presented here are given with a sense of love, joy, and abundance of infinite source. Thankful that we are all one, and for the many gifts we bring, together we sing. And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Now it is time for our gratitude rant. My favorite part. I want to thank our practitioner, Joni Bauman, for stepping in to do meditation today and being on the platform. A big thank you to our featured musician, Carissa Holmes, along with our center trio, Tony Bernardi, Steve Caracas, Jimmy Casto, our sound guy, Rob Kuhn. We want to thank our service coordinator, Julie Colbert, in the back, Dave Scarborough for live streaming, and Debbie Conkle on slides. Our song leaders, Mac and Helen Ware.
And Margie Sand.
Here's your $1. And all the other people that we're not naming that we could, that help put us on the map every Sunday in this space to celebrate and bring us online. So thank you, everyone. And thank you for watching us online, watching us on YouTube as well. If you're joining us for the first time today, no. If you're online and you want more information about us, go on Facebook and ask for some information. We can give you links to our website, or we can still mail you some stuff, whatever you choose. So let's say our blessing with me. Yay! There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect.